I've discovered something. I have met more and more creators over the last 6 months or so. I think I cleared some magic threshold where I started getting invited to the you know, like the when a website is like, we're inviting these creators, then all of a sudden it's like I'm there, right? So there's layers to the club. For sure, but I'm there, right? And I've met some awesome people, some people that are way far ahead of where I'm at right now. I'll get there, but the interesting thing about running into these people is that you just you realize that some of the tendencies you have make more sense. I am terrible at responding to people. I have been terrible at responding to people for years while doing YouTube and streaming, and I just took it as a personal flaw. And it turns every creator is terrible at responding to people. And the best explanation I've heard is because we are inundated with interacting with people all day that responding to messages feels like more work, right? Because that's all I have at least a meeting a day. I mean, the number of emails varies wildly, but all of them will be a decision I have to make. Like, every single email is, hi, I'm this, I do this, do you want to work? Hi, I'm this, I do this, do you want to work? Hi, I'm this, I do this. Hey, I'm a fan, do you want to help me with, like, every single email. And then Discord messages, and then you need to do this, you need to do that, YouTube video, thumbnail, what's the title? Editor wants to go on vacation. Other editor's girlfriend broke up with him, or he broke up with her. I don't know what happened, but they can't do anything for 4 days. And it's just this madness. And so you end up not being able to respond to messages as well. And it never stops. That's like when you stream, I am in Europe on a family trip, and then we go out, we have wine. It's really fun. Mom's birthday. Okay, I go back to the room, sit down, package a video, title, thumbnail, description, boom, send it out. I will never not do that. I will never not be doing that. Oh, why haven't you published a TikTok in a week? Oh, well, sorry, like the stream accidentally went 12. It does not stop. It never stops. There is never a time where you're like, I block off one day every once in a while where I can do that. And I'll just go into goblin mode and play video games for 12 hours and not leave my room and not worry about anything, but that will always set me back. And it's been really cool meeting other creators and realizing that is just basically the life that you have chosen. And it is the price that you have to pay to be your own boss, make more money than you probably ever thought you were going to make. Even though I do pay like a lot of employees, so that's always fun. It's the gross for the net versus the net, and that always plays games with your mind too, because you get like a huge dopamine hit when the checks come in, and then you get a huge dopamine subtraction when they all go flying out too, and you're like, awesome. That's how chemicals work, right? It's just addition and subtraction. But that's the price. It's not a bad price, right? And I think it affects people differently. And so when you see creators have a breakdown or say a stupid thing or not handle a situation correctly, it's usually because all of this stuff is happening all the time. No, I think it's the only reason you end up in this position is because you keep giving more and more and more and more and learning more and working harder and having a new idea, chasing that new idea. That's the only way you end up here in the first place, right? So you don't stop. You cannot stop. Because if you stop, it's over. That not actually, right? But like there are certain people that won't go to TwitchCon because they're worried if they don't stream for 3 days that it'll be over. Right. And so there's certain people that get comfortable with different flows. But if you've never done something before, like I go on vacation because I've gone on vacation before while I was streaming, and I knew that if I came back to stream again, they would still be there. Right. Or YouTube videos, you don't post a video for a week. Right. And everybody's got their own. I mean, there are guys I know that if they do daily like uploads with gameplay stuff, and if they don't post for a day, they're convinced that's what's torpedoed their channel, right? Like, because they didn't post one day, so YouTube is nerfing their next 5 videos. everybody's got all these weird theories, but that's the trick, is once you're on an escalator that's going backwards. And so if you're not walking forward, you are actively losing ground. And so there is a certain combination between ambition and pressure to continue that just keeps pushing you up the escalator, whether you're sprinting up it or whether you're just kind of dragging yourself up one step at a time so you don't fall behind until you get another wave of motivation. The pressure of just trying to not get pushed off the escalator, because you watch it happen to other people, right? You watch other people. We all have seen that person on the internet where we're like, man, I used to watch them. What happened to them? Nightmare stuff. Keeps you up at night. Oh, you release one bad video and you're like, this is the end. It's over. I'm never going to have a banger, right? They were a great run, right? You do one stream and a few less people show up and you're just like, oh, downward spiral, right? Like, don't know what we're doing wrong. And then you figure out what you're doing wrong and you take a few more steps up the escalator. It's machine learning. YouTube wrote an algorithm that's entire job is to get people to stay on the website as long as possible.
I mean, when you really boil it down to the people who are watching, just think about it. Like, what do you think YouTube wants? Like, to me, I think YouTube just wants people to click on a video and watch it, right? I mean, that's how they get their ad revenue. That's how they keep viewers happy and stuff like that. I mean, I'm sure comments, like, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, they want you to click, watch the video, click, watch the video, and just do that as long as possible.
That's their whole game. And so they coded it to do that and to just acquire traits based off of what keeps people longer. It's always running tests. It's always, so they don't know. And they talk about this all the time. They just set that in motion, locked it, and there's no way to go into the code and see in any one particular moment what is the key to that. It just learns. And that is what, if you want my most meta take of all time, it is so fascinating to me that people are like waiting for this revolution of AI and robot. I mean, they're not, I mean, Hollywood is waiting for this revolution of AI and robots to take over the world, right? They kind of already have, because YouTube is a black box, TikTok's a black box, and Google is a black box. We don't know. No human being on the face of the earth knows exactly what those things are recommending, why they're doing it, how they're doing it. Content creators are then beholden to that. We learn, and the reason that we succeed at our jobs is because we're basically, the entire job is we figure it out before other people do. Where it is, what the direction is, how to take advantage of the newest, best way to keep people on the website for the longest time. And that's the entire job description. That is my life skill that will hopefully make me successful for the rest of my life. That is the life skill I have. But the only reason we're chasing that is because some AI is like creating, it's almost like Squid Game. Like, they're creating the game and we're trying to win the game. And so are 80 million 14-year-olds on TikTok are also trying to win the game. They're trying to figure out, like, and if you find it, I mean, Bella Porch, you might not know who that is. This girl literally made her entire career because she found one little niche with, like, her head bouncing on it. Yeah, it's like one of the most watched TikToks of all time. And if you watch it, anybody in the face of the earth could have done that. She found it. And that was, like, the window in. But I'm getting a little off track of the fact that we're just kind of being led into the abyss by these AIs that are like this machine learning that's just adapting to it. It's weird. It is almost like a Black Mirror episode, because you can't blame any human being in the situation. Like, the people that wrote the code, that's exactly what they want to do. They want to have their website be successful, right? And so they write the code and lock it, and then it goes. The people like me that are chasing it, that's just like what we do. We're trying to make the stuff that gets watched the most and, helps people, is funny, whatever. And then people that watch it, you can't blame them because it's optimized to be the most watchable, right? Like, the things they're getting recommended are optimized for them to be the most watchable possible things on the website. And then all of a sudden we spend our whole lives in our phones. I don't know what happens. And I have no idea what your question was. I have no idea why I'm talking about this. This is just my my take on it. It's like an interesting situation. Yeah, you were saying that YouTube should tell people, like, how the algorithm works to appease their mind. They can't do it. The reason, and it changes every second, which is always why if you do the same thing for 4 years on the internet, it's not going to work 4 years later. It won't work anymore, which is a shame, but that's just the way it is. For me, this is perfect. Like for me, this is what I should be doing, what I'm built to do. I can handle the internet, right? I can handle the people on it. It does not bother me too much. I am okay. Like the rigors of it. I mean, every job has pressures, right? I can't get fired. Like, that's nice. That's so ridiculous, dude. I just got sacked for the first time in 3 years on FM. You know, I can't. I completely control my own destiny. I am directly rewarded for how good I am at what I do. And so it's not like everything about it is bad. I get to wake up at 11 every day. If I want to sleep in, if I want to stay up late and watch a movie, I don't have to wake up at 7 a.m. I don't have to pound coffee and like, here we go. The downside, I think, is, you know, exposing your life and all this. So like if you have a kid, I personally really try and keep that away from a public light as much as possible, right? If you try, there are people that opt into being in the public view and people that opt out of it. And if you opt into being in the public view, then yeah, I'd absolutely recommend it because you do control your own destiny, and there's a great part of that. But I also know that, you know, a lot of people under that kind of pressure from, you know, the human brain is not built to be able to withstand having thousands and thousands of people cast their opinions about you, right? But biologically, we're still all living in tribes, and there's like, you have to deal with the opinion of maybe 20 people, right? Well, now, and you can interact with those people. And the internet, you just can't. People start talking about you in the third person. You cross a line where even the comments under your own videos will be like, why does Zealand do this, instead of talking to you. I don't know when that point is, but it happens. And I don't think somebody that's like 12, 13, I don't think you can know exactly if that's right for you. And I do think it can distort your brain a little bit, but I'm not a scientist and I really don't know. What I do think is always going to be a constant is that the vast majority of people that end up doing this got started on accident. And then at a certain point in their career, you figure out if you actually want to do it or not. And people will blow up on TikTok, and then they'll disappear, and people will blow up on TikTok like Bella Porch, and they go, I have a taste for this, this is what I want to do, and all of a sudden she's a pop star, right? And they go that direction. And another person will have a huge TikTok, and then they go, this, I don't like this, I don't have a taste for it, that'll be a conscious or unconscious decision. But I one thing I know for sure is that it will usually find you, and then you make the decision about whether you're going to do it or not. I don't know if I could kick somebody through that door for them. You either seek it out or you don't. So would I recommend it? No. I would say if you find it, then pursue it or not. You ever seen the movie The Social Network? It's about Facebook and the founding of Facebook. It's content creation is in that phase where all those guys are in the house at the same time and they're just moving fast and breaking stuff. I mean, content creators, TikTok took it to a whole other level, right? YouTube got the party started. TikTok took it to a whole new level. Twitch has also escalated just the amount of hours you can invest in creating content. And content creation really is still in the move fast and break stuff stage. And I think it might stay there forever, honestly. Because there's one thing about content creation that's different than every other job. You can't set a baseline. Who is important enough to be... And this sounds like a vain question, right? But who is important enough to be considered like supportable? Like, do you make, 401ks? Do you institutionalize the progression of content creators? Because you can't, right? Who the heck's going to find Bella Porch before she posts that one video and all of a sudden she's got more Twitter followers than 99.99999% people combined, right? From one video. And we're in the move fast and break stuff stage, but I honestly, somebody smarter than me might be able to figure out where we break out of it. But the reason that we all end up doing this and with that kind of intense emotional workload, I guess would be the way that you would word it, is because there's no way to, and I have thought about this, no way to like set a line where everybody's like, okay, right, we're gonna support people, we're gonna do this, we're gonna be responsible about this. Yeah, like you're, and all of a sudden you got 100,000 followers, and so you're there too, right? Like, there's no way to do. I think the nature of content creation is that every single person that does it finds their own way to deal with it, and they find their own workload they're comfortable with, and the best you can do is educate people on what they can do to take care of themselves, because there's no way to institutionalize any part of it. And there are a bunch of people out there that are completely overwhelmed all the time, and they're just a powder keg waiting to blow. I mean, you see it all the time. Somebody will go on a rant, something will happen, they'll have a breakdown. I mean, there've been multiple suicides, right? Like, it is really intense. Unfortunately, I had a wonderful upbringing. I have a very like, I am cripplingly aware of my privilege, right? Like, there is nothing wrong with my family. Like, everything is spot on, right? And so I have a very solid, comfortable podium to build on mentally, essentially, right? And so I trust myself to be able to deal with it in those ways, and I've never been in a particularly awful situation. But a lot of people can't say the same, and it ends up being harder to deal with and process because you don't have the same levers installed by the people you're around.
A huge thank you to Zealand for giving up his time and being so honest with his thoughts and feelings around becoming a YouTuber and some of the steps he's taken. If you would like to find out more about Zealand, he is on Twitter at the Old Zealand. That's at the Old Zealand. You can also get him on youtube.com/C/Zealand on YT. But if you go to his Twitter page, you can find all of the links there. Likewise, if any of the stuff we've discussed in this episode has kind of sparked any thoughts in your own thinking around burnout and streaming, we have more resources on our website, www.gamersversusdepression.org. That's www.gamersversusdepression.org. And next episode will be out shortly. Thanks very much.